Hey everybody, tonight we're debating globe Earth versus flat Earth, and we are starting right now with our globe Earth team. Leif and Pat, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Will I be able to share my screen or?
Yes, you were already sharing it.
Yes. So the question today is the Earth flat? And last time I was on here, I did a larger presentation. I will just do 4 arguments this time, not a whole lot of introduction, and just keep it to the case. So when I go, when I have studied the question of is the Earth flat, I have seen some places where this doesn't seem to work to me. The first point I'll make is a point I've seen many flat earthers give. It's that if one could see the light on Antarctica for 24 hours, that would debunk the Earth. And if that's true, it's also true that if you can see the sun for 17 hours in south of Chile, that would be equally as devastating. Because as we see here, and this is the less nuanced model where the sun doesn't go in and out from Capricorn and Cancer, but the point still stands. If you see this sun spinning around, you would see that there's only a very, very short time of light in Australia or south of Chile, or and mostly dark. And that would be true during the whole year, even if the sun went back and forth between Capricorn and Cancer. But what we actually do see is that the shape of how the sun lights up at the Earth is more like this. That in March and September, you instead of having a spotlight, you have sun halfway through as a half disk, spinning around and round and round. And it's even worse in December. Let's even say that Antarctica doesn't have light here. It's still true that south of Chile has 17 hours. South of New Zealand has 15 hours, or almost 16 hours of light at the same time. You will at the exact same time be able to see the sun in south of Chile and in south of New Zealand. So that's a very hard thing to explain on a flat Earth view on the Earth. What would make sense is if this was how the Earth worked, and you had a Earth getting sun, and like we see here, it wobbles a bit. So what would make even more sense is if it didn't wobble as much, but was tilted and went around the sun like this. Another point, an argument, is that when you see the sun on the horizon and you see it from south of Chile, in 22nd of December, you would see the sun going like an arc, like this. So you would see that a very, very high curved C, almost an O. If you could see the sun the entire time, it would be an O. But this is not what we see. This is not the path the sun goes, but it would be if it wasn't a flat Earth. What does make sense is this kind of model where you have it spinning around the sun with a tilt. And this is my great Photoshop skills, where I've pointed out 3 places. The places I've already mentioned: south of Chile, south in New Zealand, and also south in South Africa. And on a flat Earth, the sun would be, for instance, here. And if you, then you would expect to have to look at that point to see the sun. But what is actually the case is almost the entire opposite. The red lines are the way you need to see to actually see the sun. And that doesn't make sense at all at flat Earth. But if this is the case, and it goes around the world, around the sun like this, that would make sense. You would have that kind of pattern emerging where you would see the sun. And last point, there is a problem with the view distance, because in June, from south of Chile, you can see the sun for 7.5 hours, which would make only this short arc here. But in December, if you could see equally as long, you would see the sun only for the same amount of time, a bit shorter in time. I haven't done the calculations, but probably 7 hours straight. But in reality, we see the sun for 17 hours, which means that you can see almost twice as long in the summer as you can in the winter, since it's opposite of what it is in Norway. And to make the matters even harder, you still have you're still unable to see the sun where it's colored black, just about there, which does not make sense at all. You can see this long from south of Chile, but not that long from Norway or wherever. So this again would make sense on a ball Earth going around the sun, but it does not on a flat Earth. Those are my 4 points. Pat?
Yeah, and how much time do we have, James? How much time do I have?
You bet. Let me just quick in the meantime, if Leif, if you're able to pull out, I can do it on my end, but if you're able to pull out a full screen, and thanks so much. And so let me just pull up that time for you, Pat.
Sorry.
I'll give you a 30-second heads up when when we're running low on time.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with my my pro globe partner here. The optics of the sun should be fairly undeniable. Maybe there's something we're missing here. I'm not sure. But I do come to the table here against my opponents, my flat Earth opponents, to try and gain knowledge. Convince me, show me, convince me the Earth is flat. There's certainly experiments that can be done to prove that. And to be quite honest, if the Earth is flat, that's something I would want to know. So I'm not there. I'm not there yet. I'm pretty sure the Earth is round. That kind of matches reality to me on all levels, from mathematics to optics to just philosophy, even. But I'm open to the idea, so I'm here to explore what you have to say and whatever persuasion you have. And I think that's an important thing. It's a good discussion to have, because at the end of the day, I want to understand the reality of the world I live in. I have no dog in the hunt. I just want to know the truth. So I don't want the Earth to be round. I don't want the Earth to be flat. There's no belief system involved at all. I just want the truth. And so it seems like, the flat Earth community is trying to bring some truth to the table. And I'm very open-minded to it. And I want to have that discussion. Now, I have my challenges. So I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't have challenges. It seems to me like the Earth is round. So I'm here to hear what you guys have to say and persuade me, and I will bring those challenges as I see fit. And with that, I relinquish my time.
Thank you very much. We will kick it over to the opening statement from the Flat Earth side. And want to let you know, folks, if it's your first time here at Modern Day Debate, we are a neutral platform hosting debates on science, religion, and politics. We hope you feel welcome no matter what walk of life you are from. And with that, we will kick it over to our Flat Earth team for their 12-minute opening statement as well.
Okay. Do you want to go first? I can't remember my Flat Earth brother's name. What's your name, bro?
Okay. First.
Can you guys hear me good?
James? Yeah, go ahead.
I think Lance is frozen, and I can't.
I'll take it.
Gotcha. I think Lance, if you're able to, I'm not sure if your connection's that strong. Your audio is kind of going in and out. If you're able to just turn your camera off after all, just that way we at least have your audio, that's probably better.
All right, I'll do that. I'll just start. I became a Flat Earth, and that was in 2015. It took me a while to tell all my friends, but now pretty much I tell random strangers all the time that I know the truth. But so water always finds its level is one of the main things. It's called sea level, not sea curve. The horizon always rises to the eye of the observer, whether you be at 125,000 feet in a weather balloon. If NASA's not using a fisheye lens on their GoPros, we've seen too far with the P-Easter right there. So they float over the horizon and they disappear. Well, you just stand on the shore and you bring it right back into focus. So it's like, okay, what's going on there? The concentric rings that we see, like if you do a long exposure picture on long exposure. So what you actually see is the stars twisting. So like you've got the North Star that's stationary, and then everything twists around it, and that would not make sense on a globe. What I would say that the globe is the wrong model. I wouldn't say that the flat Earth is like exactly the correct. What we have a working model that we kind of look to and say this is our best theory on it. And Leif, is patterns. Like if you're in Chile and you want to fly to South Africa, it's going to take you 23 to 32 hours, and a layover in Dubai or UK. And what it should be is just the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So why are we flying all the way across? But you lay it out on a flat Earth map, it makes total sense. Another thing is, this is like good versus evil. It's all satanic. The people that are like telling us that, oh, this is the way it is and all of that, that's my view. It's to hide God. They have encoded 666 in the globe Earth. They tell us that we're spinning 66,600 miles an hour around the sun, which the constellations wouldn't make sense if we're doing that. Like, how do we see the Big Dipper and Orion's Belt and all the same stuff for centuries if we're chasing the sun? Also, the formula for the curvature is 0.666 feet per mile squared. And one other one, the tilt, the degree of the tilt is 66.6 degrees. Just for fun, they told us that the dinosaurs ruled the earth 66 million years ago, which is 66 with 6 zeros. So it's a fun game to them. Like my buddy was saying earlier, he said that make sure you stand 6 feet away from all your COVID social distancing. It's like, I mean, they couldn't pick 5 feet or 7 feet. It's just so weird. It's their game. I'll say pretty much that like all the photos that we see from NASA are either artist conception. Even the guy that did the blue marble, he said it's Photoshop, but it has to be. What else? We should see satellites like we see airplanes flying in front of the moon. Like, I don't know if I have anything else right now. And I think I'll pass it off. Go ahead, buddy.
So I just started a YouTube. I'm not really social media savvy. Just started a YouTube channel a couple of days ago, and I already got flagged, and one of my videos got taken down. I'm FlatterDay Saints. I'm just representing because, flat lives matter. A lot of people think that we live on a spinning cartoon ball, brought to you by Jesuit priests, and that we come from monkeys, dinosaurs, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, I got in a lot of trouble when I was younger. And right before I turned 21, I went to go live with the pastor of a church at Victory Outreach. And I lived with him for a year. Every morning we'd wake up at 5 a.m. We'd read the Bible for an hour. We'd do Bible study for an hour. Then they'd send us off to go clean people's windows for slave labor, making even less than inmate firefighters make. Point of my story is that their logo is a globe, saying they go to all 4 corners of the earth to reach their whole thing is reaching drug addicts and gang members, which is cool. But I had so many questions. I go, when Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins flew to the moon, did they pass heaven? Did they pass right by heaven? And if they were to die on the moon, would they go to heaven? So, and then I'd always ask my teacher, I said, how are people in Australia standing, walking around upside down? How's rain going upside down? If I stand on my head right now, within a couple of minutes, all the blood will rush to my head. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand at what point an airplane flying to Australia reverses and goes upside down. I didn't understand how, if the earth is spinning 1,000 miles per hour, a helicopter could hover for an hour and not be 1,000 miles away, or how a plane leaving from California to New York and New York to California flying at the same speed and same elevation could reach the destination at the same time, right? Are we in a blender effect, Coriolis? I mean, I'm not book smart when it comes to this stuff, but I have eyes to hear and I have eyes to see and ears to hear. The scales fell off my eyes about 4 years ago. I was an inmate firefighter one time, making $1 an hour, risking my life. I almost died at a fire. And then I got right before the Thomas Fire hit. I'm from Southern California, so I got to see the Thomas Fire. Now, I studied under a couple Cal Fire captains for a whole month. I know my 10s and 18s. I know all about fire training. If I really wanted to, I could probably go work for Cal Fire and be a hot shot. Just from the Thomas Fire, what I saw, so fire behavior is that everything that's a tree, a plant, grass is called fuel for a fire. And I was seeing houses burned to the foundation with the grass, the trees, and everything still intact. Cars melted into the street. It completely defies physics as far as we know. Regular fires, houses burn a little bit as a result of the bushes around burning. But I was seeing bushes around getting charred a little bit as a result of the houses burning. Defies physics. That's when I started getting into conspiracies. My girlfriend, I come home one day, she goes, "The earth is flat." I open hand dismissed her. I don't want to hear that. I don't have time for this. So she was watching Eric Dubé's 200 Reasons Why the Earth's Not a Spinning Ball. I get another remote, and something said, clicked on me. They said, surveyors and people who build canals do not take the curvature of the earth into account. I stop right there. I'm like, no, this can't be. Within 5 minutes, I had chill bumps on my arms. I'm like, dude, what the hell? Within 15 minutes, I knew the earth was flat. And within an hour, I knew I'd been lied to my whole life. And I'm the type of person that I don't like being lied to. If my parents aren't my real parents and anybody knows that, please tell me. I don't want to live this sugar-coated lie thinking these are my real parents. They're not my real parents. And that's how I feel like. I feel like I found out my parents aren't my real parents when I found out about this globe earth deception. And if an honest man wants to remain honest, once he's found out that he's told a lie or what he's ever saying is dishonest, he can remain an honest man and admit he's wrong, or he can double down and his pride can get in the way and he can keep going with his lie. But at that point, he's no longer an honest man. So I have $1,000 challenge that I'm going to be putting up. If anybody can prove to me that we live on a cartoon spinning ball, I'm willing to pay $1,000. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong about something. I'm more than happy to admit when I'm wrong about something. Sorry about that. I wasn't prepared for this meeting. I found out about it a couple hours ago. So anyways, I was going to have my girlfriend print me up. She said there's over 43 pages of weather modification patents. So on the last debate I heard with Maddie and Nathan, Maddie brought up a really good point. She was like, well, if the earth is a spinning ball, we couldn't account for weather. And I was like, please, Nathan, say it. Please, Nathan, say it. And he didn't say it, but I'm going to say it. The Dopplers and all those things that they say can help predict the weather, those things are creating the weather. You guys ever heard of HARP? You guys ever seen all those smokestacks? You guys know what those windmills are for? They're creating the weather. Google weather modification patents, and you'll get about 43 pages dating back from the late 1800s. And if you guys think that the earth is surrounded by all these satellites and everything, Google Project Loon. That's LOON. They've been using weather balloons, dude. 98% of internet and communications comes from undersea cable, right? So it becomes dangerous at the point where it goes from wired to wireless, right? Imagine if our whole life is a Super Bowl, right? And we got that ball and we're running for the end zone, and we drop it at the 1 yard line. And that's what they're doing. All the infrastructure you see everywhere, they're wiring the ground with the cables to bring you that wireless. And they drop the ball at the 1 yard line, and it's called your front door, dude. And that 60 gigahertz is going to take your guys' breath away, literally. It will deplete the oxygen molecule inside you. What does this have to do with the earth being round or flat? I'm glad you asked, because it all stems from that. Global warming is the biggest deception, brought to you by the Jesuit priests and the Catholics, who, by the way, wear a little yarmulke on their head, with the other people. And what they're doing with that little yarmulke is they are putting truth in plain sight and saying there's a dome over us. You guys are so dumb. The whole thing with them is they put the truth in plain sight, and they figure if you are too stupid to see it, then you deserve to be tricked. And all my life I was heliocentric. My parents are heliocentric. My dad went and got the vaccine. My aunt got the vaccine. Do you guys know the name of the company that puts out the Johnson & Johnson vaccine? Merck, M-E-R-C-K. The truth is in plain sight. You go inside a store, you see little circles with sixes. There's 3 of them. Stand 6 feet apart, stand 6 feet apart, stand 6 feet apart. I mean, the devil's in the details. If the devil's not real and the Bible's not real, that's all fine and good. I'm not here to debate that. But it's awfully strange that the elite keep using these 666, these 33, these 11-9, these 9-11s. If you get the Freemasonic symbol with the 2 pillars, 1 on each side, and you draw a line down, and you have 1XX1. What is that? In Roman numerals, that's 9/11. You guys need to wake up. And if you guys want to remain asleep, that's fine. I don't care if I lose this debate or not, as long as I reach one person out there in internet land who maybe you might use their brain that God gave them to think about it and realize, gee, we don't live on a spinning cartoon ball. Well, if the earth is flat, how come we don't fall off? Dude, take a bug, put it on a plate, take a bug, put it on a basketball, spin the basketball on your finger. What falls off quicker? I mean, we were trained from little kids to not only think we live on a cartoon spinning ball, but to think that you are inherently retarded if you live on a flat Earth. Christopher Columbus sees the
All
third
right.
letter of the alphabet. C.
Just to keep it,
All
we're
right,
going
I'll
to
stop.
refrain from
Yeah.
the R word, but I want to let you know you also have
Okay,
30
sorry, I won't use that word anymore. My bad.
30 seconds left. We can give you a little bit of extra time because in case Lance wants to add some. And
Okay.
to your opening statement, as I mentioned, the openings are flexible. Just wanted to
30
let you know that
seconds
you have
left?
that 30 seconds left.
I got 30 seconds, right? Okay, shouts out to ODD. Horizon means horizontal. Indoctrination is awful. We were taught the globe model ever since y'all could crawl. We follow rapists and murderers, liars, thieves, and sun worshippers saying we can't see curvature because we're all too small. I'm done.
Gotcha. And we will give Lance a short bit. As we said, the openings are flexible. And so if you want to add some, you can, Lance. I don't think we had heard from you yet. No,
Yeah,
we
sure.
did. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We did. That's right. Thanks. Sorry about
I don't
that.
have to
Long
add
day.
anything.
I'm still a little bit behind today. And so what we are going to do is jump into the open dialogue portion. And so, gentlemen, we are thankful that you're all here. We are hoping for a congenial, friendly discussion. And so one thing I do want to keep you aware of is that cutting people off or filibustering, so talking too long, that's something that I will jump in to moderate. Otherwise, I'm pretty laid back in terms of my moderation, and so we do like it being kind of organic and free here. So the floor is all yours, and want to mention, folks, our guests are linked in the description. You guys, you can check those links out, and we really do encourage you to check those links out, as we really do appreciate our guests, and that includes if you're listening via the podcast, as we are now on many podcasts. And we want to let you know, if you're listening via podcast, you can find our guest links there in the description box as well. Gentlemen, the floor is all yours. I think you're on mute, Pat.
Our turn? Yes.
So I think one thing you keep mentioning is, for instance, the 6 feet thing. Here in Norway, it's 2 meters. So that's what we keep hearing. Does that mean it's less satanic here, or what?
There's
Was that a direct question to me?
Both of you have brought up the 6.
There's 3 meters in a. There's 3 feet in a meter, so it's still
exactly.
6 feet. Yeah,
but the feet is arbitrary, while meter is still arbitrary, but less so.
I mean, bro, it's like this. I'm telling you, the devil's real. Look at him. He came here to kill, steal, and destroy. He's like a roaring lion, ready to devour. And you're telling me, well, he doesn't have horns. His horns aren't red. I'm like, bro, Lucifer can appear as the angel of light. Take it however you want, bro. You know what I mean? It's just an opinion. I can't prove it. So I'll if something I can't prove, I'll be like, it's just my opinion. You know what I mean? And maybe somebody out there in the internet world will hear what I'm saying, and that's all that matters. I don't care if I lose this debate or not, but that's just my opinion on the 666 thing. I don't have proof of it. So therefore, point taken, you win that one, buddy.
All right.
So do any of you have a response, for instance, on how we are able to see the sun from south of Chile for 17 hours? How does that work?
Well, I heard you mention something about the midnight sun at Antarctica. Was that part of your argument? I was on the road.
No. So to avoid the entire Antarctica problem, I'll just give you. Yeah, exactly. So I'll just give you that. Let's say Antarctica doesn't exist, everything, whatever you want. But in south of Chile, you can see the sun for 17 hours, which makes the same point.
Okay, so you're saying that, let's just say for argument's sake, that Antarctica doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
So,
or whatever you want it to be.
You ever played the game Jenga before?
Yes.
You start taking pieces out of the bottom, the whole thing crumbles, bro. So if Antarctica doesn't exist, then that means that your globe model has a crack in it, or AKA a lie. If we were in the court of law, that would be fruit of the poison tree, bro. And I'd get that thrown out just on just on the fact that it brings reasonable doubt into it. I mean, if Antarctica doesn't exist, then who's to say Chile even exists? I mean, have you even been to Chile?
My neighbor is from Chile, and that's why I chose the specific Punta Arenas. She has been there, lived there.
Okay, well, I mean, my neighbor told me that she was on Real Housewives of Orange County, but I don't even think the chick's ever been married. So, I mean,
so
like
are you
said,
denying
people can say
Chile
all kinds
or
of
any place south of equator? That's all I need.
Okay, so the equator is like the circle in the middle of a dartboard, bro. The middle circle.
Yeah, I know.
You ever? All you
I
can
know
go
how
to
it
the Play
works.
Store and Google Flat Earth. Flat Earth. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, we get that.
So you're asking me how? You're asking me how can there be that 17-hour daylight in Chile, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I've never been to Chile. I've never researched that. It will be something I look into. You guys won that point, unless my other Flat Earth brother has something to say.
Actually, I've never even heard of that. I was gonna ask the same thing. Why did you pick Chile? But I would say my rebuttal to that would be about the flights. One thing I tell people when I'm waking up, Globers, is like, okay, I show them a globe, and I got it here. So you're flying from Chile, Argentina, any of these places here, but you want to go over here to Africa. Why do we have to run all the way up here to England? It doesn't make any sense. I haven't heard the 17 hours worth of daylight. I'll have to check that out, but
okay,
it doesn't
Lance?
change. It doesn't change for me. I mean, yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. I think there's a little bit of a delay, so we're actually not talking over each other. Just so everybody's clear. I think there's some delay or lag. So Lance, I can explain that. I have aviation knowledge, and we don't. When we fly from South America to South Africa, let's say, we don't fly up to England, but there is an arc that is done. It doesn't go that high. See this right behind me? This is the aviation chart. So I have some knowledge of this stuff. So the reason that pilots do that, the reason that navigation works, is because you can test it on the globe you have right there with the measuring tape. If you have a cloth measuring tape, you go from the tip of South America to the tip of Africa, and then and measure that. And then if you put a slight arc in it, it'll measure less, actually. So that's why we navigate the Earth that way. Is the best way I could describe it. So that kind of brings up another point, which is direction, which is how does north, south, and east, west work on a flat plane? Because obviously human beings have mastered navigation on the Earth, whatever it is. Let's say it's a flat Earth. We've mastered navigation. We can bring cargo ships from China. We can bring cargo ships from the UK and the US, and we can go in all directions, and we can fly to wherever we want. You can get on a plane and fly to anywhere in the world you want to go. Take COVID out of the equation, right? So how does north, south, and east, west?
It's actually the center would be magnetic north. And if you head south in any direction, or if you head any direction and you just stay that way and you don't change it for your magnet moving, basically you will always hit Antarctica. So straight in any direction, doesn't matter which direction it is, because Antarctica is the outside of the ice wall. So two pilot questions to you is, once they reach cruising altitude, why aren't they dipping the nose down to account for curvature? And the other one, why can't they fly over the South Pole? Why can't we circumnavigate that? So when we're circumnavigating, we're just going magnetic east and west. We're just turning. you know,
Okay,
that
planes
makes
have,
sense.
well, planes have flown over the South Pole, so I'm not sure what you mean by that. But
Like
yeah.
directly over,
Yes,
like from
absolutely.
the north to the south. Like Amelia Earhart, she went around the Earth like this,
Right.
but not from the North Pole to the South Pole back to the North Pole.
Okay.
No one's ever done that.
All right. How about this, Lance? Since we're talking about direction, if I'm in North America, if I start walking towards the North Pole, which would be the center of the Earth, let's say, right?
Okay.
I'm walking north, right?
Right.
So once I reach the center of the Earth, at that point, I reach that center of the Earth, and I'm walking north is to my back.
Right.
Am I now walking south?
Magnetic south, but you're still walking the same direction. If you know, yeah.
Okay.
So it's just
my
magnetic.
question. All right, my question would be this: how can I walk north and south at the same time? Because on a flat plane, you would be walking in the same direction, and I'm walking north and south at the same time. How's that possible?
It's just magnetic. That would be magnetic. North would be behind you, but south would be in front of you.
Yes, but even as I'm approaching north, I'm still walking on a flat plane, which means that it doesn't matter once I cross the center of the Earth on the flat Earth model, I'm still walking north and south at the same time.
Right, but it's not.
How does that work?
North and south on your. It's not. If you look at your compass, north is going to be behind you.
No,
but you haven't changed any You know you haven't changed the direction, so you just walked right over the North Pole and you just kept going.
Yeah, but
Keep going,
before I get to the North Pole on a flat plane,
right.
Again, before I get to the North Pole, but way before I approach it, I'm walking north.
Right.
And on a flat plane, south is over here. I'm walking north and south at the same time. You see what I'm saying? That on a flat plane,
exactly
it's way out here would be south. How do you walk north and south at the same time? It's impossible.
It's not, because like, I mean,
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just wondering about compasses. So why do compasses only point to the north? I'm just curious.
Magnetism.
And one more question. Why, when we're little kids, why is there a metal rod through the North Pole? You know, they tell you the North Pole is there, but it's not there. Huh?
It is there. Go up there and look.
It is there, but they don't want you to see it because they put a metal rod through it in a globe, right?
There's a giant metal rod at the North Pole, bro. Go look. I've been there. I've seen it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the globe, though. The metal rod they put through it.
Yeah. So
right here.
Can you answer my question? How
rod.
We can travel in two directions at the same time, north and south at the same time?
Okay, well, let me just say something. When you say we, I hear a lot of people say, like, we went to the moon or we won the Super Bowl. Bro, I didn't do any of those things with you. You may have done it, but I didn't do it. So I can't answer for the we part. And I can't answer your question because I've never done it. So if my flat earth brother would like to concede, you guys just won another point.
3 points.
But somebody out there in real life land will see that the way they have the globe set up, right, with Polaris, answer this, how does Polaris never move? Why do all the stars circle it every night? If we were going whipping and turning through an infinite universe, then we would see different. Imagine this. Imagine if you're on a roller coaster, right, at Magic Mountain, right? You have a basketball, and you tape a GoPro to the basketball. Now imagine the roller coaster is moving. It's going really fast, and then you start spinning the basketball on your finger. Are you going to see the same hot dog vendor and the same people day after day? You're going to see something completely different every minute of every hour of every day of every year. And it's the same thing with outer space, but even crazier. So it's like,
no.
If I'm spinning that basketball with a GoPro on my finger while the roller coaster is going, how does that hot dog vendor always remain in the middle with all the people and everything waiting in line surrounding it day after day? If this roller coaster is moving 666,000 miles per hour, you see what I'm saying? Like E equals MC square, black holes. It's so preposterous that we can't, as human beings, even comprehend it.
I can answer that question. It's a fallacy, is what you're talking about, because you're trying to take something that's on a large scale, very large scale, and you're trying to condense it down into a little teeny tiny, minuscule, microscopic. So things work differently on big scales than they do in like the palm of your hand. So when you're talking about planetary movements, when you're talking about solar system movements, those things are giant, huge, energetic things that are happening. They're not they're not basketballs in your hand. They're not roller coaster rides.
Okay, you convinced me. I'm not a flat earther anymore. I'm a glober now. Now, but for real, like my boy ODD says, he says, and they say we can't see the curve because we're all too small. Now we're on a spinning ball. I mean, they've been using that "we're all too small" thing since I can remember. And,
we are.
And I didn't want to sound stupid in school and be like, "What do you mean we're too small?" I mean, everything. So we're too small to see that, but yet they can measure things that are light years away. I tried to look up on a calculator how far a light year is, and we were talking about into the hundreds of trillions. So they say that they can see light years away. You ever heard of Michelle Fowler? That's Thaller. She's a science communicator for NASA. And I'm quoting her. This is what she says. She goes, "If you are an astrophysicist, you're also a time traveler. There's no way that you couldn't be, because they are seeing back into the past." So I don't know what world or fantasy people live in where they're saying, well, the stars aren't really there because they exploded millions of years ago. Okay, if that's the case, I'm not arguing that. If that's the case, how did NASA go back even further to know that they're really not there? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, there's science fiction movies that are more realistic than this reality that we're living in. But go ahead, the floor is yours.
Yeah, Leif.
So, I hear you say that it's ridiculous, and you seem to presuppose that they've actually seen that they have exploded, for instance. That's at least when I've heard it, they say they could have been exploded, but we don't know yet because the light hasn't reached us yet. That's what a light year is about. It's how long light travels in a year, which would be very long. And when you're speaking about how long you can see, that's also a point I made in my 4 points, that you do have a problem that often when you talk about a flat earth, and a globe earther would say, well, why can't I see Mount Everest then? So I acknowledge your point there, that atmosphere is so thick that you can't see so far. But the cost of that is that it's also weird that you're able to see the sun from south of Chile in June, because then it's almost on the entire other end of the earth. So you must be able to see that far. And if you're able to see that far in June, why are you not able to see that far in December, when other people must be at that same time able to see almost as long? So there's something about how long you're able to see that doesn't really work at all. Do you understand the problem? Or
I understand English, and so the words that you're saying, I know the definition of each of them. As far as being in Chile, and you keep bringing that one argument up, I don't know, because like I said, where I live, it's really hot. It's not chilly right here. The thing is, bro, you can bring up certain points, and that's all good. The thing is, we live in a modern day society where they say that I saw a commercial the other day. Here's a perfect example. We can send a man to Mars, or we can send a rover to Mars, but we have to prick people's fingers for the insulin. Now we have an app that says how much your blood sugar is. I saw another ad where this girl was talking about, I can have sex on my, they can send a hot rod into a roadster into space, but we can't have sex on our period. I mean, these are just I'm just giving you examples, right? And so I'm not going to use the T word, James, all right? But it's like this. I mean, let me quote Elon Musk. He says, you know it's real because it looks so fake. If it was fake, we'd have much better CGI. When somebody says we'd have much better, he's kind of implying that they're using kind of poopy CGI and they'd have much better. So he's putting a half truth right there in your face. I mean, if you guys really believe that they sent a Tesla Roadster to space and that they have things on Mars, you know, if you guys believe that Richard Nixon talked on a landline rotary phone to Neil Armstrong on the moon, but yet a couple of years later during Vietnam, they couldn't get a cell phone signal. They had to carry a huge metal box. And quite often, a lot of military Americans died because they couldn't get a signal and they couldn't get an air raid on time for the Viet Cong came through. So either one, the Armstrong, Richard Nixon thing's real. And they just said, F the troops in Vietnam. We don't care about you guys. We have the technology for you guys always to get a signal, right, for an air raid, but we're not going to give it to you so you guys die. So, I mean, the arguments I could present are going to show a wicked government one way or the other. One way or the other, like you said, well, let's just presuppose that Antarctica is not there. Well, I mean, when I play Jenga, I don't play games, but if I did play Jenga, I could be like, well, I'm going to presuppose that I'm going to take out these sticks from the bottom and it's not going to fall. But I mean, let's take the sticks out and it falls. You could presuppose stuff all day. I mean, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the reason why I say you can presuppose that Antarctica doesn't exist is simply to avoid that entire problem. So I know that many flat earthers have a big problem with Antarctica, so I want you to use that. So please understand me correctly. So I'm just avoiding a point of contention, especially many flat earthers disagree on what to think about Antarctica, and I'm just avoiding that entire discussion, going directly to something that everyone south of the equator could help being the evidence themselves. So this debate, Billy was supposed to be here. He lives in Australia. I could use him as the exact.
Is he the flat earther that I'm filling in for?
Yeah.
Hey, so Nathan called me today, right? Yeah, I didn't get, my phone was dead, and then Nathan calls me at 3:33. I was born on the 333rd day of the year. I'm into numerology, and I'm into zodiac signs. Anyways,
okay,
this is getting past the point.
We can talk about zodiac signs and everything, but just to, I think Leif was going to make a point based on like the Australian position on the Earth. Just to bring it back to the topic.
My bad. Okay.
My point is that you could do this in Australia. You can do it in basically half of Africa, and you can do it in the entire South America. But the reason why I use Punta Arenas, the city in south of Chile, is because that's where it's the most extreme. So it's a city of 75,000 people. So there's plenty of people, maybe not in an American standard, but in a Norwegian standard, that's fifth largest city. So
what was the elevation?
That's I'm not sure. Actually,
is it on the coast?
Yes,
the city. Yeah,
so it's nearby the coast at least. Yeah. I don't know if it's entirely at the coast, but it's nearby at least.
So not super high elevation.
But that I'm not sure that would matter.
Yeah, but I don't see why that matters either.
Yeah. So the point would be that any place south of equator, and the further south, the more extreme. That's why I use south of Chile, because that's the most southern part we get on our Earth. So as long as you believe that there live people on the south of equator, my point stands. That's all I need.
I heard you use the B word. I like that. The believe word. That's good. We all have to have our beliefs, bro. You know.
Yeah. I think what he was saying is if you believe that there are people south of the equator, and belief is that's something that you brought up earlier. Like you kind of keep using that word towards us. If we believe, I don't believe the Earth is round. It seems to be that it is. It's not a belief. I have no faith.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Bro, I believe that the Earth is round too. I mean, I almost know it's round. Just like a plate that I eat on is round, just like a coin is round, just like a clock is round. They're round. Everybody seems to go, the Earth isn't flat, it's round. I go, well, you're half right. The Earth is round and it's flat. Right, yeah. I don't know why everybody can't. Right. I don't know why people can't say sphere.
All right, you know sure.
I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying.
Fair enough. You call me out some nomenclature there. I believe. Right. I don't believe the Earth is a globe. It's my understanding of reality that the Earth is a globe. I don't have faith that the Earth is a globe. It's my understanding of reality, just like walking my dogs is something that's real to me. So so it's not a belief. It's an understanding of the world around me.
Can I ask you something, Pat?
Yeah, sure.
So is there any lie that comes from government, media, science that you've said, or true, or that you're like saying, okay, I don't necessarily believe that, even though that government, science, and media are all telling me that this is what happened, like the Kennedy assassination or 9/11. Anything that you would say, or is it just everything that the United States government says is absolute truth?
Absolutely not. The government lies all the time. Politicians lie all the time. Government is not to be trusted. I will agree with you guys on that. Don't ever trust government. It's a big, fat, freaking bureaucracy of people. You shouldn't trust government. So you're onto something there. Don't trust your government.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that the government told me the Earth is a globe, therefore I believe it because I'm brainwashed or anything. Again, screw the government. I don't know if I can cuss here or not. I'm just not going to cuss. Screw the government. I navigate the waters of reality on my own, dude. I'm Pat Turner. I'm sitting here, right here in this house. This is my world. This is my reality. I can tell the Earth is a round globe. Okay? Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm an idiot for thinking that. Okay? Fair enough. But yeah, as far as the government goes, they have no say in what Pat Turner thinks about this aviation chart over my head.
Hey, can I say something about that aviation chart?
Sure. It's flat.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. You got that. You took the words right out of my mouth, bro.
That's right. And that's the easiest way to navigate these segments. So what you're looking at is
it's the only way, bro. It's the only way.
What you're looking at is like up here is like a part of North Carolina, and over here's Alabama. And yes, we do flatten out aviation visual, like from above. We flatten that out. It makes it easier to see what you're looking at.
You flatten the curve, right?
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, good one, dude. We flatten the curve. We take but it's not distorted. It's accurate. So
I'm not arguing that the map behind you is accurate. It looks flat and accurate.
It's absolutely accurate. So as a round globe, this still works. You can take take it and flatten it and make a accurate map out of it.
As is, right?
But
Right.
As it is, yeah.
But what you can't do is you can't take a globe and make it an actual representation. Cut up any kind of globe that they have. You can take like a plastic, like a beach ball that has been with the globe printed on it. It's not accurate. Every map that we have, and they used to have some in the school that was like this, they would have like cutouts. Even that is still not accurate.
I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that.
It's kind of like it would show. Well, it would show. Okay, so if you try to fold it back up, like take your flat map and try to fold it into a ball, you can't go back the other way. And if you cut this ball, it's not going to lay out like a flat map that was in your like government schooling.
Okay, but yeah, back to that. I hear what you're saying. It's a little convoluted what you're saying. I'm well aware. I can navigate the globe using this. So, we've mastered navigation. Human beings have mastered navigation on the planet.
Can I ask you something real quick? You said you can navigate the globe with a flat map, right? But can you navigate the flat Earth with a globe? That's what he's trying to say, I believe. If I'm wrong, just let me know. I've been wrong before.
No, I mean, navigation would be completely different on a flat plane. We wouldn't have any kind. North, south, east, west wouldn't exist. We would have to come up with there would be a completely different system for navigation. It would be sectors.
So you're saying north, east, west, and south wouldn't exist on a flat plane?
That's correct.
Weird, because most of the compasses I use are flat and round. But you're saying it wouldn't exist. And every map I've ever seen is flat with the north, west, east, and south on it.
Not every map.
How would you have directions on a spinning ball? How could there be any up, down, or around? You know this. North is the top of the earth, south is the bottom of the earth, and east and west is latitudinally up and down, latitudinally around the earth. So if you go from North America and you travel, around the globe, you're going to go west, around back to east eventually. Flying in an air curve, right? I mean,
yes,
my bad. An airplane.
Yes. Flying in an airplane. Yeah. Airplanes are real, right?
Hey, in a world where level means curve and plane means curve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good one. With all the technology they have nowadays, this shouldn't even be a debate. You guys should have squashed us like ants, bro. But still, here we remain.
No, I'm just trying to have a discussion with you guys.
I am too.
I'm not trying to squash anybody, man.
Bro, I'm not either.
I mean, you're people.
If what I'm saying is false, I'd like to be squashed because I'd like to remain an honest man.
Okay. So from what I've heard so far, I can't see that you've engaged with any of the 4 points I made. You haven't you haven't made any points that either engages with it and shows why I shouldn't use it as an argument, nor have you conceded it. You
conceded 3 points.
I conceded 3 points to you. I gave them to you, bro.
Yeah. But that's not the points I've gotten. I've really presented as arguments. So I would also like to remain honest, and for me to remain honest, I need to see some engagement with these arguments, which they seem to actually establish the world as or our Earth to be spheroid-ish, at least.
Okay. How about if I just present 2 words that base my argument, and I'll just bring up 1 point, and how about if you can give a rebuttal to that?
Okay.
Okay,
2 words: sea level.
Yeah. So, first off, using the word level
Mhm.
as an argument that because we call it level, it needs to be infinitely flat, which you seemed to imply in your opening speech. That I'm really trying to see how that is an actual argument. It's good rhetoric, of course.
Okay. Let me
Yeah.
just let me 3-4 minutes then. Okay, so
Okay, yeah.
sea level, which is the same in China, Australia, United States, Canada, anywhere around the world, sea level means the same thing, because a plane flying from one country or continent to another, or a mountain in one country, continent, or another, uses the term sea level to determine how high you're flying, how high this mountain is, or how high they build a building. Now, if we lived on a globe, the word sea level not only would be irrelevant, it would be fantasy. You'd have to say, I'm at the sea at such and such longitude and such latitude, because we live on a ball where there are no level surfaces. Unfortunately, the world we live in, they use sea level. Builders use the term sea level. Airplane pilots use the term sea level. People who are hiking in the mountains use the term sea level. And the term is the same worldwide, right? It's the same. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, let me know.
Okay, sea level only means this. It's in that specific area of the planet where the sea meets the coast.
Wait. Can you back up what you just said? You said the specific area of the what?
Specific area of the planet where
I thought you said sea. Plane. My bad. I thought you said the plane.
Yeah, right. Oops. I screwed up. Yeah. I'm not gonna get my check this week.
Hey, bro, you know what? There's a 50-50 chance that you are that person in which you're describing. There's a 50-50 chance that God just hasn't lifted the scales from your eyes yet, bro. But I love you.
I hear you. I understand that. I respect what you just said, actually. But sea level just means where the sea meets the coast. That's what
sea level means.
Yes, and that is actually different in different parts of the world, because the sea around the world does not actually. It's fluctuating. It's not actually like all the same here or there, because you have down in the lower parts of the earth, below the equator, towards Antarctica. And I'm not going to concede that Antarctica doesn't exist. I think it does. So you have piece. So you have,
you know what I mean?
you might have a big giant ice shelf in Antarctica break off, and it might actually change sea level in that area. So that could affect New Zealand, that could affect Australia, that could affect the tip of South America. It's the same thing at the North Pole. If you had, you have fluctuations in how the sea works. It's not uniform. It looks uniform. It would,
it appears that way. The apparent horizon appears that it's flat, right. But we're too small to see the curve, right?
So I'm just trying to explain that sea level is not one thing in the east coast of North America as it would be in the south coast of Australia. It's not the exact same thing. Pilots do calculate for that, and it's roughly good enough for them to land their planes. So we're not talking about 1,000-foot difference. So
or even a 666-foot difference.
But 600.
Hey, bro, you got your check. You just earned your check with throwing those numbers out there, bro. Good job. You know what I mean?
If so, you deserve that check more than me.
Yeah.
So that's Beetlejuice, right?
Right. So we can't you can't just say sea level and it means just one thing. It means different things in different areas. And
I guess it means different things to the observer, right? Everything's just an interpretation. Nothing's exact, right?
Well, tell me this: how much does sea level change in a tidal wave, like the one that happened, in the early 2000s, over in Asia? how much sea level change was there? I don't know. It was about 15 foot sea level change.
For about 15 or 20 minutes, maybe tops. And then water
longer than that. It was hours.
Water when unmanipulated always finds its true level, bro. I'm just leveling with you, dog. You know.
Well, yeah. I understand that, and I know how gravity works, and of course, you guys will want to talk about that.
You said the G word again. I love it when you guys say the G word. That's good. If you take the alphabet, Z is the 26th letter of the alphabet. You start over. So A would be 27.
Oh no, we have 3 more letters.
C would be 29. D would be 30. E would be 31. F would be 32. And G would be dun dun. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get into a numerology debate.
My bad. Hey, I'll be quiet. Keep going.
Maybe we should give Lance a chance to talk.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you
I'm
think?
outspoken.
What I would say is if Flat Earth is just a joke, why are my friends' channels getting deleted? Why is Facebook attacking? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But
I don't know.
Flat Earth is the ultimate truth.
Lance, if I could address that with you real quick, I don't know. Like, are you really saying that's happening? Oh, we lost Lance.
Of course. Yeah, Nathan Thompson's channel, his Facebook group, official Flat Earth and Globe discussion group with 150,000 members, just got deleted. Like,
really?
I mean, yeah, there's been hundreds of like I wake up every day like, okay, YouTube did another algorithm update, and like all of these channels that I wanted to watch, like I'd have it in my watch later, gone. I'm like, okay.
Well, I mean,
I'm on one debating something live about Flat Earth. Can you play this into it?
What is that?
Yeah.
He's not speaking to us.
To be fair, Lance, I mean, was there anything posted on those groups that was like inappropriate?
No, but I mean, the inappropriate stuff that they do allow is crazy. Like all of the pedo gate, all the stuff that is out there. But talking about the shape of the earth, though, that has to be shut down.
So I would simply say this. I agree. They should not shut
should
those
not.
groups down.
Should not.
Down. I agree.
I agree 100%.
I think it's a terrible thing that they do like that. James here, he doesn't.
Yeah, he hasn't been shut down yet.
So I agree with James that we need to discuss these things rather than shut down and just silence it.
Yeah, and that's why you guys are here. That's why we're here. You know, to have a discussion. So
another point I would like to make: we were talking about the speed of light and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a buddy, and he, independently of all this stuff, he's like, "Man, I think they're lying about the speed of light." Which later on we found out that the number that they say it is in like meters per second, it actually is the coordinates of the Giza pyramid. So it's like it's just all a joke to these guys. I mean, there's no way. Even that Michio Kaku guy, the astrophysicist that they always put on CNN, he was like, we're off like factors to the 10 to the 30th power, it's just a rounding error. So they're just guessing at everything that they're doing and telling us, oh, this is what's going on and all of that.
But I mean, you can you can measure the speed of light, though. I mean, that's measurable. You could do that test yourself if you like. It's a way to do that.
Well, back to like one of his main points of Leif's points is that I would like to know how many hours of sunlight we get each day in East Texas, because it's like it doesn't sound like that's too far off of.
Oh, yeah. So on the northern part, I would say it works equally well on the flat Earth and on the globe Earth. So I won't. It's no problem. I live in Norway. We have. So I've been where we have 24 hours of sun, but that doesn't matter because it's in the north. So that would work anyways. So the question comes when you get on the south side of equator. then it's a problem. Or then at least it's hard to explain. Because if the Earth if the sun went as the classic flat Earth it does, you would have very short time of sun in entire Australia, both in winter and in summer. There would be no time where the sun went really slowly over Australia. And if that was your solution, which theoretically it could be, but then you need to explain that at the same time it's going slowly over Australia, it also can be seen equally as long in Brazil. So it is. I can't see how flat earthers are able to respond to this. So I would very much like if I realize if you haven't heard arguments, it's hard to answer it. But I would really much encourage either you or flat earthers watching this. I've tried to communicate with Rob.
Kiba.
Yes, because he's made how this sun should work, but I haven't gotten a response, sadly.
I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Well, there was an article, and I want to say it was put out by some university. 11 states are flatter than Kansas, which Kansas is known as the plains. It's just really flat. So it's like if there's 11 states plus Kansas that are just super flat, according to NASA information, how do we live on a globe again that we're supposed to be, curving down?
Okay. I mean, okay. So yeah, you're talking about the Midwest, like flat plains of the Midwest that goes to the rise of the continental shelf of Rocky Mountains pop up all of a sudden. And I mean, so now we're talking horizon. We're talking what appears to be flat. And of course, I'd say the best test of that would be a body of water, because obviously water doesn't mountain up, right? There's no terrain to water. Agreed? Fair enough?
Sure.
Okay. So if you go on Lake Superior and you take a boat and you take that boat away from Toronto, you will see Toronto disappear over the horizon. No matter how much high-powered optics you have. You could have a gazillion high-powered optic. You will see the CN tower slowly diminish and disappear over the horizon.
That's because that's due to perspective. People can't see more than 30 miles, even on the best conditions. Mostly they can't see beyond 15 to 17.
No, high-powered optics. So take an optic with you.
I mean, have you tested this? Because I had a P1000 before I broke it, and I've zoomed in on boats disappear over the horizon. Even though Neil deGrasse Tyson says during the Red Bull jump he couldn't see the horizon because he was too high, and then he slaps the beach ball and says that stuff is flat. But
yeah, I have tested
it. I've seen boats disappear over the horizon, and then I zoom right back in on the hole with a P1000. You could even use a P900. Yep.
Yeah, but eventually you won't see them. So you could do this on Lake Superior with Toronto. We have the CN Tower, which is 1,000 feet in the air.
Okay, wait. So let me do. So if we're 120,000 feet and we're too small to see the curvature, then how could we see any curvature on the horizon that's like 30, 40, 50 feet away? I mean, if I'm wrong, if it's more than that,
you can't. I don't think it's 100. It. Yeah, you can't. You can't visually detect.
I'm not 50 miles. I meant miles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, miles. Yeah, so you can. Absolutely. If you get on Lake Superior, you get on a boat, you go away from Toronto, 50 miles.
It's funny that you're using that lake. Is that the Chicago skyline?
No, that's Toronto.
No, because I was gonna say is what you're seeing is a mirage.
Chicago skyline, it's not a mirage. What you can see, see from 50 miles out away from Toronto on Lake Superior, you can see that CN Tower still sticking up over the horizon. And then you can go another 50 miles and another 25 miles, and then that tower will absolutely disappear. This is a real world experiment you can do yourself to prove to me the Earth is flat.
Whoa, hey, I'm gonna put that on my album when you saying that. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Because the truth is, you could stand on the shores of Lake Superior, on the east side of Lake Superior, just standing there on the shore at night. If the Earth was flat, you'd be able to see Toronto with your own eyes at night. It would be out there. It's a big thing. It's big. It would be 250 miles away, and you would see it standing on the shores at night. That's how the optics would work on a flat plane. But because the Earth is round, if you go stand on the eastern shores of Lake Superior, you won't see Toronto. You would have to get in an airplane and be about, 10,000 feet in the air. Then you would see Toronto.
So earlier, I don't know if you heard me say this earlier, but the Earth is round, bro. So that's not even an argument. I totally agree that the Earth is round.
So you're saying there's curvature to the flat, supposed flat Earth.
So there's a clock on the wall behind me, and I have a coin in my pocket, right?
Yeah,
I have a coin in my pocket. Those things are round, bro.
Yeah, okay. Again, you're come on, man. Be fair with me, bro. You're getting into semantics.
The right terms.
No,
I'm
you're
just
getting,
saying, bro.
I said flat plane. If you were on a flat plane, you'd be able to stand on the eastern shores of Lake Superior, 250 miles away from Toronto, and at night, on a clear night, you would see that city out there in the distance. It would actually be visually amazing.
You know what?
You can't do that.
You know what else we would see if we lived on a flat plane and Earth was flat? We'd see star patterns that were circular with Polaris in the middle. We'd see sea level being completely flat. We'd see the horizon being flat. We'd see winds moving in different directions. We'd see insects not affected by this supposed gravity. We'd see things that are in the ocean not getting sucked down to the floor by gravity. When we jump in the ocean, we bob right back up. That's the things we'd see on a flat plane. I'm just saying, though.
But I disagree.
Which would also work on a globe Earth.
Yeah,
really? We'd see Polaris never moving with all the stars making a perfect circle night after night, year after year on a globe Earth that's spinning through an infinite space.
Forget the stars. I'm talking about Toronto.
Okay, so I forgot. So now I'm forgetting about Antarctica. That's a Jenga piece you just pulled out of your argument, and then we're forgetting the stars. All right. Well, I mean, should we forget about sea level and horizon too?
Okay, all right. How about this? Let's
start from scratch. Let's just start from scratch. You want to?
Okay. How about this? We shift gears because I'm curious about this. I'm curious as I can be.
Cool.
Why not go?
If I made one of you Globers actually doubt your model, then my job's accomplished. Like I said, if I got one of these kids out here in TV land or YouTube land to actually question what he's been taught and realize that we don't live on a spinning cartoon ball brought to you by Jesuit priests, that we live on a flat, non-moving plane as our eyes and all our senses observe, then my job's done. You guys can win the argument as long as one kid knows the truth.
One convert.
Hey, say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so. You know what I mean?
Agreed. I understand you. Like, I get that. I do. So with this whole circumference being Antarctica, why not go there?
I mean, you're so funny because I think you know the answer to that, bro. You know, is that a rhetorical question, or do you want me to answer that? Because I will.
It's not rhetorical. It's a legitimate question.
So check this out. You could Google this. Google the United Nations logo, their flag that's coincidentally divided up into 33 sections, bro. And it doesn't have Antarctica on it, but what surrounds it, like the crust on a pizza, on this flat plane that we live on is Antarctica. Now, the sections that it's divided into are sections that each country in that section is responsible for keeping any civilians who go within 300 miles of this circle close to Antarctica. You will get 3D'd, either deterred, detained, or destroyed. Trying to go there, bro.
I've never seen.
Go there, bro. It's harder to go to any military base in the world than to go to Antarctica. You know this. Either you don't know this already, or you haven't done your research, bro. One or the other.
Whoa, it's not about research. So
it's only about research, bro, because none of us have ever been to Antarctica. I know my brother and my dad go like, oh, I know somebody who's been to Antarctica. Yeah, and like I know somebody who was in the Thousand Oaks shooting too, bro. I mean, come on, you know.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get somewhere here. Like,
okay.
Give me a chance.
All right. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. You're a good dude. I like you, bro.
Well, thanks, man. I like you too. I like both of you guys, man. Like James, James, not so much. But
hey, James, this is how I feel about James, bro. You know what I mean? James, give me the platform.
No, yeah, Jay. I was joking, of course.
James is going to be like Dr. Dre, and I'm going to be like his Eminem, bro. Give me a chance. I'm going to light a fire up under that ass, bro.
Thank you. I'm flattered. However, we'll kick it over to Pat. I think Pat had a thought on his mind. Thank you, for your kind words.
Okay. All right. So, basically, on our round flat Earth. We're looking at roughly 80,000 miles circumference, okay, on that, and based on the geography that we understand, it'd be about about 80,000 miles circumference.
I'm just curious, where did you get that number from?
Just simple math, easy measurements. You know,
how big. So you said simple math, easy measurements. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Okay, look, dude, it's not 500,000 miles. It's not 50,000 miles.
I mean, how do we know? How do you know it's not 500,000 miles? Right. I'm just curious.
Well, do you know the distance between New York and LA?
I know what they've told us. I've never measured it myself. I don't believe anything unless I measure it myself because I've been lied to about everything.
All right. See, now I don't want to get into the minutia of things, dude. Do you know the distance between your home and your nearest grocery store? Do you trust that distance?
Yeah, but like the distance you're talking about, we're all too small to even notice it.
Okay,
you know what
I mean? I've driven from New York to LA, so I can tell you it's about 4,000 miles. Okay.
Can I ask you if you've ever done donuts around something the size of Utah?
Okay, I know where you're going with that. Look, listen.
Shout out to Maddie.
Yeah. I've driven from New York to LA. It's 4,000 miles, roughly. Okay. So if you take that, just that segment, say, I know what 4,000 miles is, and you apply it to the flat Earth idea of the circumference of the flat Earth, it's roughly 80,000 miles. Okay. It might be 86. It might be 72. I'm just ballparking it. So let's just ballpark it. Okay. Can we agree on a ballpark 80 to 100,000 to 60,000 miles circumference?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So who's guarding that? Like, who's guarding that huge circumference?
Bro, you just said it in your own statement. You said who's guarding it. Who? Probably the World Health Organization, bro. You know what I mean?
Okay,
I'm just saying, though. The United Nations.
The WHO. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, so go there. Like, you just pick one spot. I mean, that's a huge area to work with. Just pick one spot and go there. See what happens.
Well, the thing is, I had $50,000 saved, bro, and I decided to buy a ticket to outer space through Elon Musk instead of the Antarctic trip. So I'm still waiting for that. Okay. So I'll let you know how that turns out, and then I'll go to Antarctica after. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what? Fair enough. If you're gonna buy a ticket into space, like I'm done with that discussion. Let's move on.
Cool. Thanks. All right. Hey, you guys won that point. Good one.
No. He gave it to you.
Oh, he did? Well, you know what? I don't accept it. He can have it.
Delayed it. And
no free handouts over here,
he
baby.
Might get it.
No free handouts over here. I don't accept it. Give him that point, James. Please, give him that point. He needs it. You know
that's right. 4 points so far.
You guys are crushing us, bro. Crushing us. The thing is, this shouldn't even be discussion. If with all the technology and everything they have, and all of us crazy flat earthers who might fall off the edge.
Man, nobody's
Dude,
calling
we shouldn't
you
even
crazy,
have a
dude.
discussion, dude. Seriously, we shouldn't even have a voice, dude. But
No.
unfortunately, we're just
You
getting
should.
bigger and bigger, bro.
No,
Yep.
listen, you should have a voice, and I'm not here to call anybody crazy. Like you guys seem like cool guys. I could hang
Thank
out
you.
with you. We could hang out and get some drinks, shoot some bull. Like, you're not crazy. I'm not here to call you crazy.
We could
At
go.
all.
We could go watch the Harlem Globetrotter game together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Like, I'm not here. I'm not here to call anybody names, man. I'm just trying to have an engaging discussion. About
absolutely.
beliefs and reality. So,
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, Lance hasn't talked in a while, so what's up?
Put it
man?
this way, bro. If
I
people
got
didn't
one,
believe in the globe, I wouldn't have anything to do every day. You guys give me something to do. You guys have actually fulfilled my life calling.
All right,
It's called flat smacking, and I do it very well.
Fair enough. Lance.
Okay, about the like we've got rivers, like some of the longest rivers in the world are over 5,000 miles long, to your point. Now, how does that river flow up at some point, if it's 5,000 miles and here's the curve, at some point the river
Right.
has to flow up to the apex point. But I just want to say, I don't speak for all flat earthers. I don't have to believe everything that any other flat earther does. And Neil deGrasse Tyson said it's a pear shape anyway. So
No, yes. And look, I'll give you guys this, dude. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson, like he's a butthole.
He's a good science communicator, though.
No, he's just being the wrong approach. And
if you Google him, it says he's actually an actor. But
yeah.
I don't know anything.
Maybe he is. Like I'm not gonna.
He is, though. He has been in movies.
Yes. So I don't know. Leif, can you address the river question? It's a good question.
So I'd say that basically it's the exact same point as why doesn't the water fall down from, for instance, Australia? Because it's on the bottom.
Right.
But what we've been going around all this time is I have to assume that you have done your research here, so you know how gravity is supposed to explain this on. So it's okay. You don't believe in gravity, but it does work on that model where gravity actually pulls things to the center.
Oh, so, can I say one thing about gravity? Unless
probably.
You're going to pull that peg out too. You've already pulled out the Antarctica peg. You pulled out, what was the other peg you pulled? I can't remember the other peg. I mean,
I'm willing to give you a whole lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So the whole gravity thing, four words that can disprove gravity: centrifugal force. Actually, 5. Centrifugal force. Actually, 6. Centrifugal force, electromagnetism, buoyancy, and density. So I can take 1,000-pound piece of metal, hold it up with a 100-pound magnet indefinitely. Where's gravity? Is gravity picking and choosing? Another thing is the ride at the fair. The cylinder where it spins and the floor drops. That's centrifugal force. Now imagine being on the outside of that room that spins, right? Before the floor dropped, we'd get thrown off. Buoyancy and density, I don't know too much about, but I'm like a parrot and I repeat words, and I heard Nate Thompson say it, so it's got to be true. You know what I mean? He's our flat earth leader.
Yeah.
So I agree that buoyancy and density would solve a whole lot. That's not a problem at all. I'll even give that in all matters where we're testing this like amateurs, buoyancy and density could potentially explain basically everything. But that's not the problem, because we're now talking about the big globe.
Well, it's not the problem, it's the solution. It's not a problem. It all works. Magnetism works.
Yeah. So
scale is an issue.
Yeah. So on the globe model, that's still the case. That's the reason why helium goes up. So we don't.
We're too small to see it, right?
No,
well, I could,
big.
but that's
No.
not this point.
We
Okay.
observe everything. We're not too small to see it. That's not fair to
there's some,
say.
you're saying the curvature or the different things you say we're too small to see it. It's just too big on the scale of Earth. We as little humans just can't see it.
No, we can. We can observe it quite well, actually. Again, Toronto, you can watch it disappear. The sunset, you can watch the sun go below the horizon, and you can have a drone 1,000 feet in the air and look at your screen and still see the sun. That's proof of angular light over a curved surface. So those things are observable. We're not too small to see them. We're not. We're pretty smart creatures, actually.
So Lance, you asked about the rivers. So you do you totally dismiss the gravity kind of explanation, or what?
Yeah, I saw this in a 6th grade science experiment where you've got like a potato, you've got a bottle cap, you've got a piece of steel, and then it's got different layers of water. So like the top one would be like motor oil or dish soap, and then you've got all of these things, and you've got this product suspended, throughout these different columns of fluid. And it's like, okay, so yeah, why don't these cruise liners sink? Like, I mean, it's just gravity doesn't make any sense. It just it's so smart. Like the dew on the leaves in the morning, like, I mean, the birds, the insects, all of it, like cat hair floating around my apartment, like
again, scale, dude, you cannot.
So
water, you can't represent water on a small scale compared to a big scale.
But in this case, you could. So with boat, the reason why that floats is because of buoyancy, which you obviously agree that is a mechanic.
Yeah, that's why you can
swim. So
dude.
that is why you also would say that the boat actually floats.
And why
we're just agreeing with
that.
That it made totally sense.
Yeah, hey, when you get into a pool, Lance, you're buoyant. You become buoyant with that. Right. You don't drown and die because you're buoyant. You have air in your lungs. You float. So that's a simple experiment that you've done your whole life.
Even a piece of driftwood, though. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, like a duck on the surface, anything. Like gravity, throw it out. It's all density and buoyancy, everything.
And magnetism and centrifugal force.
Yes, on this scale, that's correct. Right. That's not a problem. We're not disputing
we're
that.
Too small. We're too small to see it. It's too big for us to see, right?
No,
where it would come into the question is when you are speaking of, for instance, the Earth. That's where you would see that it goes all around the center.
I got another one. I come at this from a Christian point of view. I didn't wake up to the flat Earth at first, with it being in the Bible, but once I realized it was, I was like, "Oh, dude, I can't believe that organized religion has hidden this so well." And so it's just like, I don't know. That to me was like pretty crazy.
So it's a belief.
Deal.
It's a belief.
Yeah.
It's a belief.
Well, I mean, it's more than that, but
it's faith.
It's what you actually can observe, test, and repeat the observation. I mean,
I know, and we've given you examples of things you can test and observe. That and do it. Please do it, and bring those results to me and show me the Earth is flat, and I'm on board. So we've given you examples of how to do it. I give you the example with Toronto and Lake Superior. You could do that. You could fly from the tip of South America in Chile to Australia. If it takes you 24 hours to get there, And you fly over North America, the Earth is flat. If not, the Earth is round. It's a globe.
Well, the Earth is round and flat for the 5th time. Just saying, though.
Okay,
Yes,
JJ, you got to stop calling me out on those semantics, man. Like that's not fair.
So you're doing very cheap rhetorical points, but there's no substance to those pointers.
Yeah. So, bro, Lance, go take a flight from Chile to New Zealand. If it takes 10 hours, the Earth is round. If it takes 24 hours, the Earth is flat. And guess what? You could take pictures outside of the plane of North America as you pass over, Texas and Montana. But that's not the way it works. When you take a flight from Chile to New Zealand, you don't pass over North America. You go like this around the Earth. You don't go north, like all the way to the other side of the globe 24 hours later and had to make 2 stops for refueling. That doesn't happen. So that's a real world experiment that you could try yourself and prove to me the Earth is flat because you made it.
Have you met it?
And round, right?
Never met
round and flat. I'm just saying, though, bro.
Again, man,
semantics. Words are important, bro.
Yes, words are important.
If we don't follow what words mean, then we're going to be like little kids who are on the internet nowadays, and they're like, I woke up today and I literally felt like eating a bowl of Cheerios. So the word literally doesn't mean literally anymore. I'm just saying, though.
What we can do is, Leif and Lance, if we could do one last brief interchange, just because we haven't heard from you guys too much. If you have anything you want to add, we're open to it, where we could hear from Leif first and then Lance last before we go into the Q&A. Want to remind you folks that our guests are linked in the description, whether you're listening via YouTube or if you were listening via the podcast for Modern Day Debate, we put our guest links in there as well. And so, Leif, the floor is all yours if you had any concluding points, and then, like I said, we'll kick it over to Lance before the Q&A.
Yeah, so I would just reiterate the point that I made 4 points today, and I would really like for someone to reach out to me afterwards and really explain how this could possibly work on flat Earth. I made 4 today. Last time I was here, January 31st. I made 7. I would hope someone could explain how those 7 points would work. Because to me, they seem not only to not work on a flat Earth, but to actually point, if not directly, then very closely to a spheroid Earth.
An oblate spheroid that's pear-shaped and is kind of like shaped.
We do want
So
to hear from...
I didn't say that. I said somewhat spheroid.
I did want to, just to be sure Lance got a chance to respond. Lance,
yes.
Did you have any thoughts, Lance, before we go into the
Yeah, sure. I would just say, this wasn't... it wasn't something I wanted to even wake up to. I woke up, I would say, in 6th grade, whenever the teacher was telling us about AIDS and, the government it just was a disease that appeared, but yet they were the experts on everything. Then fast forward, I found out about the moon landings, all of the staged, phony, weird stuff that didn't add up, 9/11. Everything that they tell us is a lie. So it's like, it was like one of the last things that I wanted to look at. And it just so happened to come across my feed on YouTube. And I'm like, okay, so I watched the documentary. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. It's just so weird that it took me so long to get there, but knowing that everything else that they tell us is our currency is a lie. They print the money out of thin air. Every single thing, the diseases, all the coronavirus, even the war on terror.
We do, just because you are making a lot of claims with nobody able to rebut, since we're going to go into the Q&A, we want to keep it on topic.
Hey, just level with them, Lance. Just level with them, bro. You know what I mean? You just got to level with these guys, bro.
Yeah, I hear you. Dude. I'm glad to be on your team, man. You made a lot of good points, and I just wanted to say amen the whole time because you're hitting the nail on the head. And they gave us Antarctica and they gave us gravity, so I think we won.
Hey, look me up on YouTube, baby. FlatterDay Saints. I just started my channel, so
that's it.
Subscribe.
Nice. So we'll go into the Q&A. So we do want to say thanks everybody for your questions. And we are excited as we have many more juicy, epic debates coming up. So folks, if you aren't subscribed, subscribe now and hit that notification button as well, as we have a lot of juicy ones coming up. This month is going to be action-packed. Seriously, you guys. We are really excited about that. And so first one, coming from Sigma Any, says, "Hi, James." Hi, Sigma. Good to see you again. Says, what's a developable surface, quote unquote, with respect to maps? What does that tell us about what maps actually are? Does anybody know what a quote unquote developable surface is?
I think it's a picture that hasn't been developed yet in the camera.
Next up,
before they had digital.
Rory Bjorkman, thank you for your thumbs up. Appreciate your support. Ozzy, good to see you, says, if you have $5,000, you too can travel to Antarctica. Go to antarcticalife.com and book your trip to the hidden lands. Thank you very much, Ozzy.
In a world.
RT96 says, these people, let's see. Okay, gotcha. I don't want to give a friendly reminder, folks, to be your friendly, regular selves. We want you to attack the arguments rather than the people. We appreciate our guests. Sigma Any says, if satellites are really weather balloons, why can we measure the Doppler shift in their radio signals? If your answer is, quote, it's programmed in, unquote, why does that shift change with the observer's location?
Who's that question to? Because I'll answer it if you want.
I think it's for you.
Okay, so just real quick, he said, why can't we measure it? Like I said, we didn't go to the moon and we didn't win the Super Bowl. So, bro, I don't know why you can't measure it. I can't because I never have. And I don't think I have the capability to, although I'm going to look into it. Good point.
Gotcha. Thanks for your sincerity. And Sigma Any says, if HAARP, HAARP, is used to control weather, why can the weather reporters never tell us when it's going to hail Satan?
Whoa.
Next.
Hey,
Rory.
bro, God loves you, bro. That's all I got to say.
Oh, my God.
Damn.
That was hilarious.
Next up,
wow.
Rory
Sad.
Bjorkman says, can the flat earthers explain volcanoes? If the earth is flat, where is lava coming from? Go Globers.
Probably from hell.
We've only
Fair enough. I mean,
true. We've only drilled 8 miles down, but they can't. They want to tell us that they've got crust, mantle, core, all of this stuff. It's all made up. Again, lies upon lies upon lies.
Gotcha. I think I made a mistake with Sigma Any's question. They said, I don't exactly know what your correction was for, Sigma Any. So you say, what does that tell us about what maps actually are? Which super chat did you want me to change for you? Let me know. But Fox Tashi Kata, thank you for your question, says, Satan wants you to have money so you guys don't have to live in your, let's see, okay. And they gave $6.66. Is it possible that these people,
wow.
I don't know, FlatterDay, Lance, what are your thoughts?
What's the question?
Can you repeat the question, bro?
Yeah.
I think that they're just trying to tease you. Big thing, yeah. Bruce Wayne says, if FDS is scared of 6s and 9s and 11s, why not convert to the metric system? Boom! No more satanic.
Out,
1 second. They said,
check
boom.
this out. I was born on the 333rd day of the year, bro.
Okay, I'm muting you for a second. So you're still on mute. They can't. I'm trying to read the question. Okay, still trying to read the question. So the question in its entirety was, though, if they said if FDS is scared and sixes, and so FDS would be FlatterDay Saint, by the way, folks, if you're wondering. He said if FDS is scared of sixes and nines and 11s, why not convert to the metric system? Boom! No more satanic numbers. You'd have different numbers for measurements.
To answer your question, bro, I'm not scared of sixes, nines, or 11s. I was born on the 333rd day of the year. I've been anointed by God to spread the good news. So if I was scared of something, I wouldn't go exposing it. It's quite the opposite.
Right.
I'm not scared of it. I expose it, bro.
Yeah, knowledge gives you power. Whenever you look into this, it's like we don't have to be fearful about anything. But the 666 is just 6 atoms of carbon. 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. It's nothing to be scared of.
Gotcha. And this question,
I also like what Whitsitt said. Whitsitt said the only other time 666 is in the Bible is when they were talking about Solomon and the amount of gold that they brought him. That was a very interesting point. Plus, man was created on the 6th day. He falls one short of completion. Something to look into. I don't know. I'm just saying, though, don't shoot the messenger.
Okay. So Sigma NE, going back to their question, I think I said it wrong, and I do want to give him like his full credit for what he actually asked. He said, if satellites are really weather balloons, why can we measure the Doppler shift in their radio signals?
Is that to me?
Yes.
Well, like I said before, we didn't win the Super Bowl and we didn't go to the moon. So I don't know why we can't measure it. I don't know why you can't measure it, bro. I haven't measured it. So I'm not going to speak on something I don't know. But why don't you just Google weather modification patents and see the 43 pages dating back from the 1800s about how they can control the rain, how they can make tornadoes, yada, yada, yada. I mean, bro, come on. Google it, bro. Don't take my word for it, please. Thank you.
Sigma NE says, driving in a car at 100 miles per hour, trees zipping by, but mountains in the distance don't appear to move. How does that work? Could stars be farther away?
Is this to me too?
Yes.
In a world where level doesn't mean flat. I mean, I think the stars are very close. Let me give you a little quick example. Imagine you're in an igloo. You know what I mean? It's funny how they put the igloos in the Antarctica. Imagine you're in an igloo and you take a flashlight and you shine it at the wall, right? Now, the wall in front of you, the beam is going to be not very bright, but big. And as you bring that up and further away, the beam gets smaller and brighter. Kind of like the sun. So they say the sun's 93 million miles away. Is that when it's rising and setting or when it's overhead? Because it's like 1/3 the size overhead. I'm just saying, though, the moon too. Just the moonlight. The moonlight's cold.
Mike Biller says, for our flat earthers, how does an equatorial mount telescope work on a flat earth?
I don't even know what that is. So
Gotcha.
You can go ahead and glance if you want.
Thank you for
I don't know.
sincerity. And Toby says, James, why do you do this weird thing with your mouth? I do a lot of weird things with my mouth, like grinding my teeth. I'm like working really hard on not grinding my teeth. But Mike Billars, thanks for your question, said, don't listen to Toby, James. You can do anything you want with your mouth. Thank you very much. Magellan, thanks for your super chat. Says,
Hey, James, I know why your mouth does that. Because you're spinning 1,000 miles per hour, bro, on a ball. I mean, we're lucky our teeth don't turn into powder, bro. You know what I mean?
Thank you for that encouragement. Magellan, thank you, says, James, can you ask FlatterDay to stop moving, his mouth and eyes? Let's see. Looks like he's sucking on a lemon. Okay, well, I didn't even notice it. Next up, Sigma NE says, as an Earth measurement professional, I was going to ask that arc to chord question from the last Flat Earth debate, but I'm okay. Carry on. Thank you. Mike Billars says, FlatterDay Saint, I made a GPS receiver software and hardware for my senior design project. It used globe equations. I'll teach you, for $1,000.
Ooh. Hey, bro. I'm totally down for that challenge, Look me up on YouTube, FlatterDay Saint, FlatterDaySaints@gmail.com.
In a world where level doesn't mean flat. Dun, dun. Viewer discretion advised. Each told separately, void where prohibited.
Thank you very much. Mike
You're
Billers,
welcome.
for your other questions at Lance. Yeah, my GPS software had to use speed of light too, and general relativity.
Is that E equals MC square stuff?
Okay.
I'll let if either of our guests, Leif, am I pronouncing your name right?
Leif.
Oh, Leif, brother, I'm so
No
sorry,
problem.
man. I've been
No
calling you
problem.
Leif like nonstop. I'm so sorry, man. Oh, thanks for your graciousness, Leif. I'll let either if Leif or Pat, if you guys remember how this would apply, namely how general relativity would apply in this case, what the kind of point being made is, I'll give you a chance. I frankly have to be honest, I can't remember. I'm struggling, to be honest. It's been a long day.
Okay, Leif, go ahead.
So general relativity in regards to satellites, or?
They had said in regards to their GPS, they said my GPS software had to use speed of light too, and general relativity.
I think just in regards to reality.
Yeah, so that would be what we would say also. So yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha. Ozzy, and thank you for your question. Said Facebook censors blasphemy now in atheist groups. Does that make atheism true? Why censor atheism if it's not right? I think this is for you, Lance.
Yeah, that's a good point, huh? That's weird. I mean, I didn't know because I'm not in any atheist groups to see that it's getting squashed. But maybe they're just trying to. I don't know what it's like. What else is in that group? You know, I'm more. Yeah.
Gotcha. And Ozian said, "Oh, we got that." Mike Billars, thanks for your questions. I hiked Black Elk Peak, which is 7,200 feet in elevation in South Dakota. I saw Devil's Tower in Wyoming, which is 5,000 feet, and I couldn't see Mount Elbert in Colorado, which is 14,000 feet. I know why, but do you know why?
There's a place in the Great Smoky Mountains that you can see 7 states from one lookout point. And I know why. It's because the Earth's flat.
Gotcha, Mike. Sigmani says, actual applause for Pat's approach to discussion, regardless of the manner. Let's see. So they like your congenial and respectful approach, Pat. I think that's what they're saying.
You got to give him a pat on the back for that one.
Next
Good
up, Harmon Walker says, Leif, if you are sincere, I can help with 24-hour sun in Antarctica.
Okay, great. I'd like to hear that.
Juicy and Soldier of Science said, FlatterDay Saint, you are an anti-masker, vaxxer, and anti-critical thinker and marketer of things which cause damage to society. Is this true?
Guilty as charged, sir. You should check out my channel, bro. I don't even wear shoes in a grocery store, let alone a mask. They're lucky I even wear pants and a shirt, bro. You know what I'm saying? Check out my channel, bro. FlatterDay Saints, baby. We're just blast smacking and having a good time.
Yeah, if I could opine on that real quick, Drew's not a danger to society. That's absurd.
Juicy. And thank you for your question. This one coming in from
My mom says. No, I'm just kidding.
Denman Fight says, question for flat earthers. If gas density explains falling objects on Earth, why do objects fall down in sealed vacuums?
Oh, I got one. Well,
I've never tried. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're supposed to be, how do you have a vacuum, you know, with space? Infinite space is out here, but yet we're supposed to be a closed system. So what they tell us, it doesn't work. Like, yeah. Anything you want to add, Flatter?
Gas is isotropic, meaning if you guys ever seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers logo, it's going in all directions at once.
Gas doesn't, when you see an explosion, it just doesn't go down or left or right. It goes in all directions at once. And we're next to the vacuum of space without a closed container. It doesn't work. I mean, I've heard other flat earthers say it violates the second law of thermodynamics. I don't know anything about thermodynamics, so I'm not going to speak on that. I mean, you could tell me it violates the 33rd law of thermodynamics, and I couldn't say yes or no. But I do know one thing is, though, that I make orgonite and I make molds out of resin, and I use a vacuum chamber and I use pressure chambers. And as far as anything more goes with vacuum and pressure chambers, I just don't know, so I can't speak on it. But, you know, if you have me on this thing again, I guarantee you I'll look into it and I'll have a better answer than I had. So
at least you're honest.
Gotcha.
Like,
Bob,
thank you.
Bob's gyroscope says, I've measured rotation. It's 15 degrees per hour.
Oh, so Nathan Thompson said that I'm just quoting Nate. He says the person who invented that actually said it's the vortex, the vortex of the ether, not the earth moving. I don't know. I can't speak on it, but what he said makes sense to me. I'm going to look into that. And if I have a better answer and James allows me to come back on his show, then I'll hopefully have a better answer for you.
Juicy. In fact, they even offer, they say, Bob's Gyroscope does a follow-up super chat saying, I'll debate either one of these flatties. Well, maybe we will do that, folks. And
hey, bro, I'll debate anybody, anytime, anywhere, and I'll even use my own money to debate you. I won't charge you to debate. I'll pay you to debate you. Because like I said, I don't care if you win the debate or not. And I know I'm going to be on Irish Demon later criticizing what I say. Or maybe I'll be on Fight the Flat Nerd. Or maybe Team Skeptic, who's always trying to fight people. By the way, Team Skeptic, let the violence go, bro. I mean, your knowledge should overpower any argument you have.
By the way,
by me mentioning, yeah,
Fight the Flat Earth is looking for a flat Earth debate. I don't know if you've already debated him, but
I never have, bro. Where are you at? You know,
I can assure you,
I'm right
he
here.
would probably be up for it. I can reach out to him. But
yeah.
Thank you for your question. Bob's Gyroscope says I'll debate. Oh wait, Schramager. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Says objects blur when you're traveling closer to them, but as you move farther away, they seem to move slower across your field of vision. Does this undo your roller coaster / basketball analogy?
You repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
They said objects blur when you're traveling closer to them, but as you move farther away, they seem to move slower across your field of vision. Does this undo your roller coaster / basketball analogy? The fact that things appear more blurry as we rapidly approach them, but when we move away from them, they appear to move less or more slowly across your field of vision.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't.
I got this. I wasn't prepared for this debate, and answer that for him, please, bro. I had to move out of the bathroom. Somebody's in the bathroom.
Okay, so you got the ball, right? You got your ball. It's going through space, right? If you got your stars that are out here, they're going to have to be moving at a faster rate of speed and a slower rate of speed throughout their orbital of the supposed globe Earth. So it doesn't, none of that makes any sense. Like you can't have, we're chasing the sun and then we see the same constellations and all the stars for thousands of years that they saw back way, and they made pyramid. So all of that, look into that. You can't, the speed of the stars are not changing to catch up with the Earth as it's coming around. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Next question.
Next one coming in from Lockbeard.
What
says,
he said.
deflections and semantics from the flatties. If life has never been to Chile is a point, you can't make claims about Antarctica either, where you've never been.
We're not allowed to go.
Point
No
taken.
one, I mean, you have to be in bed with the government or scientists to be allowed to go to Antarctica. And then you still have, it's ridiculous.
Next up.
And Recalculus.
To be...
Yeah.
Let's see. Magellan says, I feel sorry. Let's see. Wait a minute, I'm confused. What does inebriated mean? They say, I feel sorry for Leif that
Drunk.
he's the only one not. Let's see. I am. You guys, your super chats. I honestly don't understand these sometimes, but we do want to say thank you very much. I think I had a couple standard questions that people had put in the chat. I want to read as quick as I can. John Rapid asked, question for both sides: why do two people north and south of the equator simultaneously see the same face, size, shape, and phase of the moon?
They don't. I mean, that's not an accurate question. Like, that's not a thing.
Gotcha.
Well, I've seen videos of, supposed, like you've got someone, like a friend on the phone, and one guy's in Australia and the other guy's over there. If you plot it out on a flat Earth, what we have, our model that we think, it makes total sense. The man in the moon's face is just upside, you're like, okay, it's the observation point.
Right.
Gotcha. And Tim Pryor, thanks for your question, said you can literally book trips to Antarctica. You guys don't research this, do you?
Yeah,
So
with
he
the
said
government, if you want to go down there and be a chef, you can go do that.
He said you can literally book trips?
Yeah.
How about metaphorically, theoretically, and hypothetically? I'm just saying, though.
Gotcha. And this one coming in from, we had gotten caught up. And so, want to say, folks, our guests are linked in the description. We appreciate our guests, and so we want to encourage you, as always, if you would attack the arguments instead of the people, as we do appreciate these guys being here with us tonight. And want to let you know I'll be back in just a moment to give a post-credit scene kind of update on upcoming debates. And also, if you saw last night's epic debate, which was honestly one for the record books, I'll explain what was going on last night as well and how we're going to do something close to what you saw last night in the future. And so Schramer Jr., let me know, says, how do we know that James exists and isn't CGI?
I can answer that.
Mm-hmm.
Juicy.
We don't.
We don't.
Very juicy. So thank you, folks. We want to let you know, as mentioned, it sounds like FlatterDay Saint wants a piece of Fight the Flat Earth. So I will email Craig and
I'm licking my chops, bro.
I will see if Craig is willing. But Nikolai says, is the real issue a failure to trust experts in their fields, or should we be worried about exponential scientific literacy drop?
Who's that question to?
I don't know. Whoever wants to answer can.
I'd say the real issue is that it is Photoshop, but it has to be. What you're seeing is a mirage. That's the real issue. I just don't like being lied to, bro. The real issue is that if I observe the Earth zipping and turning and I observed water bending and everything, I wouldn't be a flat earther. Straight up. And I'm just trying to level with you guys.
I would ask that person. Yeah, I would ask them if they believe that we just Big Bang out of nothing, and did we come from monkeys that just came from a little primordial soup of cells or whatever. It's like, okay.
Yeah, the only soup I witness is the soup kitchen in the sky when they spray every day, bro. Get your spoons ready, guys.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Please do hit that subscribe button and that notification button, as well as we have many juicy upcoming debates, such as, for example, perhaps FlatterDay Saint and Fight the Flat Earth. Who knows? That may happen. And so you don't want to miss that one live, folks. Want to say thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. And one last thank you. We appreciate you, Pat, Leif, Lance, and FlatterDay Saint. It has been a true pleasure to have you guys.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks.
I'm truly honored.
Awesome.
Absolutely. The honor is all ours. And so thank you guys. And we will be back in just a moment, or I'll be back in just a moment, folks, with that post-credits scene, letting you know about upcoming juicy events. And so stick around for that. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, can I give one shout out? Can I give a shout out real quick?
Yes, and we also have another super chat that came in from Jason Day. Jason, well, he said, great debate. I'm not going to read the rest because he wants me to say something very dirty. But what was your shout out that you wanted to do?
If ODD's watching this, I respect your music, bro. You're my favorite rapper, let alone flat earth rapper in the whole flat world. Look up my YouTube channel, or you could email me at flatterdaysaints@gmail.com. And I've been writing rap music, and I think I'm pretty good, and my mom thinks I'm pretty good too. So, bro, if you could just give me one chance, bro, to put one of my verses on one of your albums, bro. If you don't, I understand. You're at the top of the pyramid when it comes to flat earth rappers. I think you and Steve Grant are hands down the best there is. So that's all I got to say.
I know that there's a genre of flat earth rappers. That's very interesting. So I will have to buy an
album. Go to ODD TV. Cartoon Ball. The dude kills it. He's so good. I got Globers going, damn, that guy's a good rapper.
Interesting to say the least.
I'm just saying, though.
We'll be back in a moment, or I'll be back in a moment, folks. Thanks so much to our guests, and thanks for hanging out with us. Be right back. Was a juicy one, to say the least. And if it's your first time here, I'm curious, are there any first timers? I like asking. Is there anyone in the chat who right now you're like, what? Modern day debate? A neutral platform for debates on science, religion, and politics? I've never heard of it. This is my first time here. Let me know. I just get a kick out of like learning if that's the case. And so we are so excited you were here. Thanks, everybody. Oh, thanks for your... I love getting to say hi to you, reading the chat, and just saying hello. Make It Simple says, that thumbnail, LOL. Thank you. I'm so glad you love the Mortal Kombat thumbnail. Man, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I'm behind on the games. I'm like, when I was young, I was like big on it. And I still like watch what I can in terms of like the new games that come out. They look awesome. But I'm not an expert on it by any means. I want you to know that. But I am definitely like an old school fan. And so, yes, Mortal Kombat, really fun game. And so thanks, everybody, for being here, though. I want to say hi. Soldier of Science, good to see you. Trillion, thanks for being with us as well. And Heat Shield, good to see you again. Thanks for your moderating last night. And Matthew Dawson, good to see you. Metal Jacket, glad you're here again. Ross Thatcher, glad you are here. And Reality Parody, thanks for coming by. And Manic Panda is good to see you again, as well as Clinton Rosh, Top Hot 2. Good to see you again. And Lockbeard says, first timer came here to support Pat. Oh, wow. Well, that's cool. Lockbeard, thanks for being with us. We're glad you're here. And welcome. We hope you feel welcome, no matter what side you happen to be on. My guess is you're a Glober if you're supporting Pat. But, like I said, we want everybody to feel welcome, folks. If you're a flat earther, we really do welcome you. Like, we're not going to... I try really hard to be like, we're not going to do videos that take a side on anything, and we're not going to... We want to have everybody, when they come on, and even when they're in the audience, we want them to say, like, oh, it's like I feel like my side was treated fairly. That's our goal here at Modern Day Debate. And a Spider, thanks for being with us. And Matt Fours, glad you're here. And yeah, you guys, I'm pumped, though. And upcoming debates, got to tell you some sweet stuff. Oh, Matt Fours says, I saw Mortal Kombat in the theater when I was like 10. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's about my age. I feel like... Because what was it? I think the first Mortal Kombat was like had to be 90s, right? 98 maybe? But it was epic. I loved it. And so, yeah, back then I was a huge movie theater goer. And so I used to go to the movie theaters as a kid nonstop. So, but yeah, thanks. Joe Smash, rad, thanks for being with us. He says, first time viewer, I'm friends with Lance on Facebook, and he posted the link. Well, we're glad you're here, Joe. Thanks for coming by. Welcome. And yeah, we do regular debates here all the time. And so if you love debates on science, religion, politics, like, I hope you guys find it fun. And so Kirk Wilson, thanks for being with us. And let's see. Yeah, I'm pumped though, you guys. It's just fun. I enjoy this so much. You have no idea. Joe Smat, what was it? No. 15 degrees per hour says, thanks, Bob. I don't know which Bob, but thank you guys for being with us. Trillion, Spartan Theology, good to see you, says howdy. Thanks for your super chat. This one just came in from Alex Shannon, who said, thanks for providing so much content. Where's the next debate on veganism happening? Or when is it happening? Thanks for your kind words, and you're very welcome. Like, honestly, it's so fun to be here, and thanks for your support of the channel. That means a lot. We might have one this coming Saturday. Maybe. I'm talking to Ask Yourself and Avi. And so that could be awesome if Dr. Avi and Ask Yourself come on for one. And so I don't know for sure. It's not guaranteed because it might be a political topic too. So, bear with me, but I'm sure we're going to have one this month. And so we've had a good amount lately. And so, those are probably the next two guys we would have, or next two people, I should say, that we'd have on, who would be defending veganism. So that should be a good one. And so, Master Optics, good to see you, says, finish that like button. I couldn't agree more. Thank you for that. And so, we do appreciate that support. Let's see. Sigmani says, sneaking out, much love, thanks, and sorry for making you read some of those chats. That's funny. Thanks for coming by. We're glad you came by, man. And I hope you have a great rest of your night. And Soldier of Science says, good to see you. I have been literally wondering if I go into T-Jump's Q&A tomorrow discussing what we did last week. It is literally the hardest thing I have explored. I'm not sure what you mean. Let's see, I've been literally wondering if I go into T-Jump's Q&A tomorrow discussing what we did last week. I can't remember. You mean like I don't know what you're talking about, what we did last week. You got to update me. I'm a little slow right now. I'm like pretty tired. Wow, it was 95, Matt Fours said, is when Mortal Kombat came out. Well, maybe it was number 2 that came out in 98 then. But yeah, it's Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I remember that. Rick Chavez, good to see you again. Thanks for your kind words. And that means a lot. I appreciate your encouragement. And so, yeah, Nikolai, good to see you. And Leonidas Zamora, thanks for being with us, said, it's my birthday and the earth is flat. I am so happy for your birthday. Happy birthday, my friend. We're glad you are here. We hope you're well, and I hope it's a great birthday. Hopefully this is fun. Greta Garbage says, this is talking to someone else, but we're glad you're here, Greta. Thanks for coming by. And Pastel Persephone, good to see you under that new username. And Josh Jackson, glad you're here. And Ross Thatcher, who he is apparently preparing his most recent swimsuit edition calendar. This is going to be epic, you guys. Flat Earth Aussie is going to send this out. And I mean, you guys are going to be blown away. You don't want to miss this. So big thing, Bruce Wayne. I think you're going to be pleased. Soldier of Science says it was race and intelligence. I have been researching it, and it's definitely the taboo of all talks. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. That's one that... yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about hosting that one, even on Modern Day Debate, because it is taboo. Sabur Chaudhry, thanks for being with us, says, my first time watching this live. Thank you for doing juicy topics. Thanks for your kind words. Thank you so much. I love it. Juicy indeed. So here, let me tell you guys about what we did last night, and then I'll tell you about upcoming debates. One. Oh, you know what I never showed you during this whole debate? Yeah, and let me show you because I forgot to show you. So on the bottom right of your screen, this coming Monday, you guys, this guy right here, Tom Jump, will be, his position in atheism, or I should say his position in the debate, is he is an atheist, so he'll be debating on behalf of atheism, and he'll be debating a Hindu guest. I got Arjuna, I think is his name. So that should be an interesting one. That is coming up this Monday. And then trying to schedule. It's not confirmed yet. I've got to like actually confirm it with both sides. Hopefully Erica and Mr. Batman on Wednesday. And so that should be definitely epic. And so we hope you guys don't miss that. You're going to want to make sure you don't want to miss that. And so... Oh, Top Hat 2, I didn't even know. Sorry, I'm behind on the Twitch chat. They said big gift subs in the Twitch chat. Shout out to Ozian. Thank you, Ozian, so much. Let's see. I'm so slow. Let's see. Let's see. I'm looking. Well, Ozian, we just appreciate your support. Seriously, it means so much. And so, let's see. Ivan Naivi, thank you for being with us. I see you there in the old Twitch chat. It says you should do a debate on Mormonism versus the CES letter. What is the CES letter? That's new to me. Memphisuga, thanks for being with us. I see you in the Twitch chat as well. And oh man, I'm so sorry I missed the gift subs from Ozian. Is it like, can you guys help me understand? I don't know if you guys see the same thing that I do. Thank you so much, Ozian, though, for your support in Twitch. Seriously, it means more than you know. And oh, you gave cheers. Thank you, weekly top cheers. Ms. Metal 29, thanks so much, and Ozian 100. Thank you guys so much for your support. Seriously, we really do appreciate it. And weekly top gifters, top Tapatzel, thank you so much for your gift. And then 5 from Ozian and 5 from Brooke Sparrow. Thank you so much for your support. Seriously, that really means more than you know. You guys are honestly so kind. And so thank you guys. And oh wait, there's the chat. Sometimes I'm like, but yes, let's see. All right, I'm almost caught up in the old Twitch chat. How do let's see this thing. There's this picture here. I don't know, like, how do oh, there it goes. Okay, but yes. Thank you so much. I seriously do appreciate your guys' support. And thank you. Ophir says, last night was painful. Have you heard back from Matt? Let's see. I have to tell you guys, I can't guarantee it, but we're going to reach out to Matt. I can tell you that the last time I talked to Matt, he said, I said, hey, Matt, I'm sorry about, people being like that in the chat because somebody called Matt an Nazi. And, no matter what you think about Matt, he's not that. And that's slander because he's not that. And so my thought is he's right. Like, we want to get rid of any of that stuff in the chat. And so long story short, I said, Matt, I'm sorry about the chat. And, if you want to come on, the door's always open. We're happy to have you back. But if you don't, we understand that. Like, we can't blame you. And so Matt said, well, let me know what your next debate is, what you have in mind, and I'll think about it. And so Matt isn't fully closed to coming on. He's like, we had a conversation that went well. And so long story short, I would be surprised if you didn't see Matt Dillahunty on the show again. I think that we'll be able to work something out, and that's something that we've already been working on. Is working on cleaning out that 1% of the chat who likes to slander people. Like I said, thank you all for being reasonable and kind, or at least not slandering or unreasonable, just because those people who are troublemakers get way more attention than they deserve, and it's because they're causing trouble. So we want to acknowledge that most people are not like that. And Mitch13, thanks for being with us. I see you there in the old chat. And so Archaeoraptor X, thanks for coming with us or being with us. Glad you're here. And where did I see? Daryl Frost, good to see you. Sideshow Nav says Tom's chair definitely exists. Yes, he's got quite the chair. There's nobody can deny that. And so yeah, we are excited though. Oh, Chris Gammon said if Matt comes back on MDD, I'll be there moderating as best as I can. Thanks, Chris. We appreciate that. And so yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for moderating. We don't want hate speech. We don't want anything that's against the terms of service. And some people are like, what? Well, like, you should be like a rebel and break the rules, go against the terms of service. And it's like, why? Like, why would we cut off the branch that we're sitting on? Like, this is like first of all, YouTube and Twitch do a great job of promoting our content. Like, they share it with people. Like, we got, from the debate that we hosted last night, probably like 200 new subs since yesterday. And that's because YouTube recommends our videos. Like, that's really helpful. Like, so for me, it's like, well, we do think that's like pretty practical just to follow the terms of service. And so Leonidas Zamora says, any future debates about Hollow Earth? Maybe, I don't know. We haven't tried it yet. Fight the Flat Earth might like that topic, so we might have to ask him if he'd dig it. That could be cool. But yeah, long story short, you might be wondering, what happened last night? What was going on? That was something different. What happened was, for 2 months, Dylan Burns had been setting up this debate, reaching out to speakers, planning out the format, all that good stuff. And what he did is, that was like last night, if you saw it, it was like 12 different people in that epic debate. By the way, Doctor Who and Deeds of Legend, I see you there in the chat, and we appreciate you being with us. Oh, we hope you're doing well. Thanks so much. And so, long story short, we had like a lot of epic, like last night we were just epic, or not epic, we're happy. Thank you, Ozian, for being so generous to all the other people as well, like all the other people that you gifted subs to. So thanks so much for being just a generous person. And Brooke Sparrow, thanks for your love in the Twitch chat as well. It seriously means a lot. So long story short, though, folks, what I was saying is that last night, that epic event with, I mean, you guys, that was monstrous. Like, we had actual Justice Warrior, Hunter Avalone, Tyler Bluntman, Shuan Head. That was, I mean, that's just some of the, you could say, YouTube, like, debate stars or heavyweights that were there. It was epic. And so I want to let you know, folks, YouTube does help us a lot. And so that's the only thing. And so we do really appreciate YouTube. And so let's see. Sideshow Nav says last night was most excellent. Yeah, it was a blast. So long story short, though, we have to let you know, the format was different. Everything about it was different. You could tell that I was like basically like the co-pilot, and that would be like maybe even overstating it. I was like wanting to assist Dylan in that project or that event. I helped him basically get people, we reached out to people to get them into that debate. And so it was a really fun one. And so it was a different format and stuff. And so, you know, that's just the way it is that once in a while we're going to do like a collaboration with Dylan. That's what I plan on in the future. And we appreciate him welcoming us because, like I said, those were epic guests that we got to have on. And so that was a lot of fun, just really cool. And so we are really excited about the possibility of just, a lot of cool stuff, you guys. And so we do appreciate that. And let's see, I'm trying to think of, let me refocus. that was why it was different last night, though. So in case you were wondering, I was uninvolved because it was kind of, you could say it was like Dylan's barbecue, as Nicolas Cage had said in the movie Con Air, a hit 1990s classic. And if you'd ever seen Con Air, he tells Cyrus the Virus, hey, this is your barbecue, man, and it tastes good. And so for me, that was like, whereas like I maybe would have done it a little like differently, but like there's a lot of subjective things where it's like maybe I would have played a different song at the start or whatever. So like that's just like subjective like things. And so long story short, we thought it was an epic event. It was awesome. And so, but that was why it was a little bit different from normal. And so EndoXD, you better check it out. Honestly, it was seriously super cool. And so, yeah, we are excited though. And so this channel will sometimes offend you. Want to let you know, folks, we're going to keep hosting debate topics that will offend people. There are a lot of people, like you guys maybe would be surprised that as a neutral platform and as a moderator, I used to have it easy. When we were small, I never got like crap from anybody. But now we've grown and we have a lot of haters. They're usually at the extremes. So like any group, any position has its extreme people who are like, no, the people who oppose me don't even deserve a platform. They're immoral and they're, this and that. And those people, those are usually the ones that hate us. And they're like in all sorts of groups, like, and I've got no apologies. The only thing is, it's just the way it is. So long story short, we will have more debates that offend you. And so not for that purpose, not to purposely offend you, but because we think that ideas are worth debating. And some of them will be controversial. So you guys know that we had that recent one with Tom, Jump, and Jangles. We're going to have another one on that same topic probably before the end of the month with Tom, Jump, and another debater. And so it's the nature of the channel. It's the nature of modern day debate. So I would, if you, before you do, like, that's like, I'm like, why am I telling people to like not subscribe? I'm telling you, subscribe, but realize that it's probably going to stretch you. Like for real, there are probably going to be times where you're going to have to be like, okay, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but I do think it's where the growth is. I can tell you that I've been around debate for a long time, formal and informal, and mostly informal, but I want to let you know that I think there's absolutely growth and kind of a hardening in a good way that comes along with it, where you don't let it bother you as much. And I think that's a good thing. And so, Ophir, thanks for your extremist fan nature of the channel. Thanks for being a fan and your support. So, but yeah, we're excited though, guys. I mean, it is true. Thanks for, I think somebody just said, Comrade Jerry said, channel is growing so fast. That is so true. It really is encouraging that, like, we're very, blessed. It's been a long run and it's been good. And it's been just, we haven't really slowed down much. Once in a while we have kind of like a slower month or something, but like it's just been really encouraging. So thank you guys. You guys make it awesome, for real. You guys make it fun. The more the merrier. Want to let you know about other upcoming debates. I am confirming we might have a political debate on Friday, but I don't want to say too much because I haven't really like talked to the person about it. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but EndoXD says we need to risk offending people in order to have productive conversations, says Jordan Peterson, even though I don't like him. Yeah, I think it is important to have productive conversations, and I think it is possible. I think tonight's debate, for example, was actually not a dumpster fire. People are like, oh, it's not possible to have a flat earth debate that's not a dumpster fire. It's like, I don't know. I think tonight was actually like pretty respectful. And huge credit to Pat, because Pat regularly was trying to say, hey, like, I'm not your enemy. I'm not trying to squash you. Like, I'm trying to debate and, challenge each other's ideas. But like, I don't have any personal animosity. So it's possible, folks. Believe me, we did it tonight. We'll do it again. I'm confident of that. And so thanks, Brooke Chavis, for your support. Says we love MDD. Thanks, Coffee Troll. Says well deserved, James. Thanks for your kind words. Thanks for your support, you guys. We are excited. And say, yeah, if you guys love this content, you want to support the channel, sharing it on social media, or maybe you have a friend who is interested in these topics just like you are, if you haven't shared this channel with them and said, hey, you might like this, or maybe just when you're on Twitter and retweeting us, that grassroots stuff really makes a difference, you guys, for real. It's huge. And so thank you guys for your support in doing all that. And so we hope you have a great night. And I'm excited to see you on Monday with this debate that you see in the bottom right of your screen. That's going to be an epic one. And so, oh yeah, last of all, thanks guys. Thanks for your support of the podcast. That we see so many downloads of the podcast, which is super encouraging. So just want to let you know, are you aware that we do have the Modern Day Debate podcast? I'm actually, well, this will be really interesting. I've got to see. Is there anyone here who has not already, that you didn't already know? If you're, how about this? Let me know if you're a regular watcher and this is the first time that you are hearing about the podcast or learning about it, I should say. Like, is this the first time you're like, what? Wait, really? Modern Day Debate has a podcast where you put the debates? Thanks, Megan Satana says, I don't always approve of people that get platform, but I understand James's concept of a neutral platform. Appreciate that feedback, Megan. And then Chris Gammon says, become a Patreon supporter. That's true. That's an option. We do appreciate that support. And so that is also linked in the description. And Brooke Chavez says, hit that like button. But yeah, let me know if this is the first time that you've learned or heard about our podcast. Let me know. I'm actually curious because I'm like, oh man, you guys, it's epic. I'm like super encouraged because when I started it, I didn't know if people would use it. I was like, well, if they're watching it on YouTube, then, you know, how do I know that they would actually use the podcast, that they'd watch it on there? And so I'm so like encouraged. I'm like, hey, that's cool that people are actually using it because we can see the downloads. So let me know. Let's see. Clinton Rosh says, James is a pod person. We do have our debates on podcast, if that's what you mean by that. But yeah, I listen to podcasts myself. I love listening to podcasts. No joke. I usually listen to like there's like maybe 2 hours per podcast episode. I might listen to 3 a week. There's probably some of you probably listen more than I do, more than that. But yeah, I just love it. It's fun while I'm taking a walk or I'm cooking, whatever else. And so if you don't have a favorite podcast app, I recommend Podcast Addict. That's a great one. And so if you don't know which one to start with, it's a pretty intuitive one, pretty user friendly. And so, hey, check it out. Herman Turson, so glad you were with us. Just saw you pop in the live chat. And then Twitch chat, thanks for hanging out and thanks for your patience with me as I know I'm slow to check the Twitch chat. I'm excited though that also, let me check, the Twitch is growing, which is cool. I think we were at like 700 and, or no, not 700. Yesterday I think we were at like 420 something and now 434, which is encouraging that that's actually been useful to people. So people are enjoying the Twitch Modern Day Debate account, which is cool and encouraging. So thank you guys for your support. You guys make this awesome. And just honestly, I hope you guys know how much it means. So thanks for your support, you guys. So thanks everybody. We love you guys. Keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable. I'm excited about the future, you guys. And so thank you guys so much for everything. And then Leonidas Zamora says, this is my first time watching live, but watching regularly. Oh, that's cool. Well, I love it. And Matthew Dawson says, same, love some podcast. Oh, yeah, I agree. Matthew Dawson says, podcast while working out. Me too sometimes. I like that. It's productive. Double your productivity by listening to podcasts and learning. So you're both building your mind and your body while you're exercising. Even if you just take a walk, it's good for you. So thanks, everybody, for all of your support. Love you guys and excited about the future. And so keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable. We'll be seeing you on Monday night. And so thanks, everybody. That's the plan. And I'm excited. Love you guys. Take care.